This is a map of North Korea. It was printed by the government. It shows roads, rivers, cities, and mountains. Every single one of them is wrong. Not wrong because of age or error, wrong on purpose. For over 70 years, the most isolated country on Earth has been hiding inside a cartography that it invented. And 25 million people live inside that lie every day. This is the story of how a government erased itself from its own map and why it still matters. From space, the Korean peninsula at night looks like it is split in two. The south glows. The north is almost completely dark. One border, two worlds. Most people assume the darkness is poverty. And it is, partly. But there is something else happening. Something that starts not with electricity, but with paper. North Korea has spent decades controlling not just what its people can say or read or watch, but what they can see when they look at the land they live on. The map has become a weapon. When satellite analysts began comparing North Korean state maps to real imagery, the differences were shocking. Roads on official maps that end in open fields, rivers that run in the wrong direction, entire towns that appear on no domestic cartography whatsoever. Take Yongbyun. On state maps, it appears as a mid-sized agricultural region. From satellite, it is one of the largest nuclear research complexes on the planet. Reactor buildings, cooling towers, high-security fencing across kilometers of what the map calls farmland. The question is not whether North Koreans near Yongbyon know what is there. Many do. The question is that the map tells them it is not. And when the map is the only version of reality that is legal to hold, it changes what you believe. There are entire industrial cities home to tens of thousands of workers that do not appear on domestic maps at all. They have no official name in public cartography. Residents there literally live in a place that, according to their own government, does not exist. To understand this, you have to go back to August 1945. Two American Army colonels were handed a National Geographic atlas and told to divide Korea. They had 30 minutes. They drew a line along the 38th parallel with a grease pencil. Neither colonel had ever been to Korea. Neither spoke Korean. One of them later said he was not sure the line was even straight. That single mark, made in 30 minutes, on a civilian map, became one of the most consequential borders in modern history. When Kim Il-sung consolidated power in the north, he understood something most leaders miss. Geography is a story, and whoever controls the story controls the land. From the early 1950s, the regime began systematically managing what its citizens could know about the physical world around them. There is a bitter irony here. The most detailed maps of Korea were made by Japan during its colonial occupation. The regime used those same maps and then erased anything inconvenient from them. A stolen cartography, restolen and reshaped. It goes beyond maps. Road signs in North Korea are deliberately misleading. Distances are sometimes falsified so that citizens cannot accurately estimate travel time to the border. GPS devices are illegal. Most citizens have never seen a satellite image of their own country. Mount Paektu, a volcanic crater in the north, has been mythologized as the birthplace of the Kim dynasty. The regime has rewritten its natural history. Its geography is not described in geological terms. It is described in the language of divine origin. A mountain turned into a creation myth. Rivers, valleys, even mountain passes have been renamed across the country, erasing Korean historical names and replacing them with names that reinforce state ideology. The landscape itself has been re-narrated. You are not just living somewhere. You are living in a story the government is writing in real time. But there is one location on the North Korean map that is more disturbing than all of it. A place that appears on no map, in no official document, and yet satellite imagery suggests it houses over 100,000 people. Political prison camps. North Korea officially denies their existence. They appear on no domestic map, no state publication. But satellite imagery shows barracks, guard towers, and what appear to be farming plots maintained by prisoner labor, in locations the country insists are empty mountains. People who have escaped North Korea often describe the same disorientation. Crossing the Tumen River into China, seeing a real map for the first time, and not recognizing their own country. Cities in different locations, roads that do not match memory. A homeland that has been rearranged without their knowledge. One defector described it like this. She said it felt like finding out that the house you grew up in had rooms you were never allowed to know about, that the walls were in different places than you remembered, that your whole geography was a story someone else wrote for you. And this is not ancient history. Children in North Korea today are learning geography from maps that have been deliberately falsified. They are building their understanding of the world on a foundation that their government has chosen for them. Here is something that is not comfortable to say. North Korea is the extreme, but it is not alone. Cartographic manipulation is a tool that governments around the world use with more regularity than most people realize. Open Google Maps right now and look at the border between India and Pakistan. Then change your device location to Pakistan. The border moves. Not physically, but on screen. Google Maps shows different boundaries depending on which country you are browsing from. The map changes based on politics, not geography. China operates a secret coordinate system called GCJ02, also known as Mars coordinates. By law, all digital maps within China must use it. It deliberately offsets GPS coordinates by up to several hundred meters. Maps inside China do not align with maps outside it. The Great Firewall extends to geography itself. Before Russia's annexation of Crimea, Russian state atlases began quietly showing it as Russian territory, years before the military move. The cartography preceded the invasion. The map was the first step of the occupation. This is not conspiracy, it is cartography as geopolitics. Maps are claims. Maps are arguments. Every nation in the world draws its borders the way it wants them to be, not always the way they are. North Korea simply does it more aggressively, more completely, and more cruelly than most. We tend to think of maps as neutral, scientific, accurate. But every map is a choice. Every border on every map represents a decision made by someone at some moment in time for some reason that was not purely geographic. North Korea's cartography is extreme because its control is extreme. But the instinct behind it, the desire to shape geography to reinforce power, is not unique to one country. It is a human instinct, and it is older than any nation-state on any map. That satellite image of the Korean peninsula at night, the darkness in the north, is not just about electricity. It is about information, about what a government decided its people should and should not see, about a geography kept deliberately in the dark. You want to know what else the maps we trust are hiding? There is another story, and it involves a border that almost no one alive today actually chose.